This is the story of a man who had nothing. No money, no future, no hope. Until he discovered one simple secret. He started waking up at 5 a.m. every single morning. And in just 90 days, his entire life completely changed. What he did in those early morning hours will shock you. And it just might be the answer you have been searching for. Before we begin, I want to ask you something. What time are you listening to this right now? Where are you from? Drop a comment below and let me know. And please like and subscribe for more stories like this. In a small industrial town where factories ran day and night, there lived a 32-year-old man named Thomas. Thomas worked as a night security guard at a large warehouse. Every evening at 8 p.m., he reported for duty. Every morning at 6 a.m., exhausted and worn out, he walked home to sleep. His salary was barely enough to survive. He lived in a tiny one-room apartment. The fan was broken. He slept on a mattress on the floor. A single light bulb flickered every time the electricity weakened. His clothes were old. His shoes had holes in them. But Thomas suffered from something far worse than poverty. He felt trapped. He felt completely stuck. Every morning, as he walked home through the quiet town, he saw glimpses of other people's lives through their windows. Families eating breakfast together, children getting ready for school, men in clean shirts heading to office jobs. And Thomas would think to himself, will this be my life forever? Walking home while everyone else is waking up to live their dreams. He had tried to change. He had applied for better jobs, but having only a high school certificate meant every door was closed to him. He wanted to learn new skills, but after working through the night, he was too exhausted to do anything except sleep. His mother lived in the countryside. She called him every week without fail. "Thomas, my son, when will your life get better? I am getting old. I want to see you succeed before I die." Thomas would force a smile in his voice. "Soon, Mama, soon. I am working on it." But he was not working on it because he did not know how. The truth that hurt him the most was this: he was not lazy. He worked hard every single night. He walked 4 miles. He stayed alert. He did his duty. But hard work alone was not changing anything. He was working hard inside a life that was going nowhere. Every morning, when he finally fell into bed around 7 a.m. and slept until 4 p.m., he felt like he was living in reverse. The world moved forward while he slept through it. One thought kept returning to him, like a whisper he could not ignore. There has to be another way. But what? One cold Tuesday morning in November, Thomas's phone rang just as he was leaving work. It was his sister. "Thomas, you need to come home now. Mama collapsed. She is in the hospital." His heart stopped. He took the first bus to his village, a 3-hour journey that felt like forever. When he arrived at the small clinic, his mother was lying in bed, weak but awake. The doctor explained that she had fainted from exhaustion and stress. She needed rest, proper nutrition, and medicine the family could not afford. His mother reached for his hand. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Thomas, I do not have much time left. Please, my son, do not waste your life the way I wasted mine. Find a way. Promise me." Thomas sat beside her long after she fell asleep. He looked at her hands, weathered hands that had worked in fields for decades, just as he worked through the night. Both of them struggling, both of them going nowhere. Something inside him broke. He stepped outside the clinic into the darkness before dawn. It was 5 a.m. The village was still asleep, but a few farmers were already making their way to the fields. Birds had begun to sing. The air was cool and clean. And in that moment, standing in the silence of the early morning, Thomas made a decision. "No more," he whispered to himself. "I will not live like this anymore. I do not care what it takes. I will find a way." On the bus ride back to town, something caught his attention. Sitting across from him was a man in his 50s, well-dressed, quietly reading a book, completely at peace. Thomas recognized him immediately. Mr. Chun, a successful businessman who owned several shops throughout the town. What surprised Thomas was the time. It was 6 a.m. And this successful man was riding a regular public bus at dawn. Thomas gathered his courage. "Excuse me, sir, why are you on this early bus?" Mr. Chun looked up and smiled. "Because I wake up at 4:30 every morning. I use this quiet time to read, think, and plan my day before the rest of the world wakes up." "But do you not need more sleep?" "I sleep by 9 p.m., 7.5 hours. That is enough." Mr. Chun studied Thomas's tired face. "You work nights?" "Yes, security guard." "And when do you sleep?" 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. usually." Mr. Chun nodded slowly. "So you are awake when the world sleeps, and asleep when the world works. No wonder you feel stuck." He leaned forward. "Young man, let me share a secret that changed my life 30 years ago. The hours between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., those are what I call the magic hours. That is when you can build the life you want, while everyone else is still dreaming." Thomas felt something stir inside him, something he had not felt in a long time. Hope. "But how? I work until 6 a.m. I need sleep." "Then change when you sleep. Go to bed when you get home at 6:30. Wake up at 11:30. That gives you 5 hours, enough to function. Then use the daytime when the world is awake. And if you can eventually shift to a day job, wake at 5 a.m. always. That is the secret." Mr. Chun took out a card and wrote his phone number on it. "If you are truly serious about changing your life, call me. I will show you exactly what to do with those morning hours. But only if you are serious, because this requires a level of discipline most people simply do not have." The bus reached Thomas's stop. He looked down at the card in his hand and made a silent promise to himself. "I will do it, starting tomorrow." That evening, Thomas did something he had never done before. He called Mr. Chun. The next day at 11 a.m., for the first time in years, Thomas was awake during daylight on a weekday. He met Mr. Chun at a small cafe. Mr. Chun looked at him with approval. "You actually changed your sleep schedule. Good. Most people talk. You acted." He took out a notebook and began to draw. "Thomas, imagine your life is a house. Right now, that house is dark, cold, and falling apart. Why? Because you have never worked on the foundation. You have been too busy just surviving." He tapped the page. "The hours from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., that is your foundation building time. While everyone else is asleep or just waking up, you are building your future. 2 hours every morning, that is 14 hours per week, 60 hours per month, 730 hours per year." He wrote the numbers clearly. "That is the equivalent of over 90 full working days, just from waking up early. In 1 year, you gain 3 extra months that other people simply waste." Thomas stared at the numbers. His eyes went wide. 3 months, he repeated quietly. "Here is what you do with those 2 hours. This is the system, and it is not negotiable. Hour 1, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Build your skills. Spend this hour learning something that will directly change your financial situation. Not watching television, not scrolling through your phone, learning a new language, a valuable trade, a professional skill. Online courses are free. YouTube has everything. You have no excuse. Hour 2, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Build your body and your mind. Spend the first 30 minutes exercising, walking, running, or stretching. Your body is your vehicle. If it breaks down, nothing else matters. Use the remaining 30 minutes to review what you learned or plan your day with clear intention." Mr. Chun then laid out 3 non-negotiable rules. Rule 1, no negotiation. You wake at 5 a.m. every single day, including weekends. The moment you say just this once, you have already failed. Rule 2, sleep by 9 p.m. You cannot cheat sleep and expect to succeed. Your body needs rest, but you control when you rest. Rule 3. The first week will be difficult. Your body will resist. Your mind will manufacture excuses. Push through anyway. After 21 days, it becomes routine. After 90 days, it becomes who you are. Mr. Chun looked Thomas directly in the eyes. I am giving you 3 months. 3 months of waking at 5 a.m., building skills in hour 1, and building yourself in hour 2. After 3 months, come back to me and show me what you have built. If you have done the work, I will help you find a better opportunity. If you quit, do not bother calling. Success belongs to those who show up when it is hard. Thomas felt the full weight of the challenge, but for the first time in years, he also felt something else: purpose. I will do it, he said firmly. I will not quit. We will see, Mr. Chun replied with a quiet smile. Everyone says that. The next morning, Thomas's alarm rang at 5 a.m. Every part of his body protested. His mind whispered, "Just one more hour. You are exhausted. You deserve the rest." But then he saw his mother's face in his mind. He heard Mr. Chun's challenge. He remembered his own promise. He threw off the blanket and stood up. The first week was brutal. Thomas dragged himself awake each morning, his body aching from the adjusted sleep schedule. At 5 a.m., while it was still dark outside, he sat at his small table with his phone and watched free Microsoft Excel tutorials on YouTube. His eyes burned, his mind wandered, but he did not stop. At 6 a.m., he forced himself to walk around the neighborhood for 30 minutes. Then he returned and spent the remaining time reading about accounting and basic bookkeeping, a skill he had chosen because every business in the world needs it. By 7:30 a.m., he went to bed. He slept until 2 p.m., got ready, and reported for his night shift at 3 p.m. The cycle repeated every single day. It was exhausting. It was lonely. Nobody around him understood what he was doing or why. But then something shifted around day 20. One morning, Thomas woke up at 4:58 a.m., 2 minutes before his alarm. His body had adapted on its own, and for the first time, he did not feel dread when he opened his eyes. He felt ready. The Excel tutorials began making genuine sense. He was understanding formulas, data organization, and basic financial principles. He completed his first online certificate. His morning walks became something he genuinely looked forward to. The sunrise, the quiet streets, the deep satisfaction of knowing that while the rest of the world slept, he was building. By the end of month 2, Thomas had completed 3 online courses in accounting and Excel. He had lost weight from daily walking. His mind felt sharper. His confidence had quietly grown. People at work started to notice. "Thomas, you look different, healthier. What changed?" He smiled. "I am changing my life, 2 hours at a time." In the 3rd month, Thomas put his knowledge to use. He created a detailed Excel spreadsheet to organize the warehouse inventory, something the company had never done properly. He brought it to his supervisor. His supervisor was visibly impressed. "Thomas, how did you learn to do this?" "I wake up at 5 a.m. and teach myself." Word traveled quickly, from his supervisor to the warehouse manager and eventually to the owner of the company. On day 87 of Thomas's 5 a.m. journey, his supervisor called him into the office. "Thomas, we are expanding our accounting department. We need someone who understands our warehouse operations and has solid bookkeeping skills. The position is yours if you want it. Day shift, double your current salary." Thomas stood there in silence. 3 months ago, he was a hopeless night security guard with worn-out shoes and a flickering light bulb. Now he was being offered an office position. "When do I start?" was all he could manage to say. "Next Monday." That evening, Thomas called Mr. Chun. "Mr. Chun, I did it. I never missed a single 5 a.m. wake-up. Not one. And today, I was offered a promotion." There was a long pause, then Mr. Chun's voice, warm, steady, and proud. "I knew you would. You had the look of someone truly ready to change. Now, listen to me carefully. Do not stop waking at 5 a.m. That is not a strategy anymore. That is your life. I will not stop. This is who I am now. However, 1 year later, Thomas had become the company's lead accountant. He had saved enough money to bring his mother to town, where she received proper medical care. He rented a comfortable 2-bedroom apartment. He bought new clothes, new shoes, and a proper bed. Every morning at 5 a.m., he still woke up. Not because he had to, but because those 2 hours had become sacred to him. That was when he learned new software, read business books, and planned his future with intention. His colleagues would sometimes ask, "Thomas, why do you still wake up so early? You have already succeeded." He would smile and say, "Success is not a destination. It is a daily practice, and mine begins at 5 a.m." My friend, Thomas's story is proof of something powerful. Your life can change. Not someday, not when things get easier, not when the timing is right now, starting tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Here is what most people fail to understand. The difference between where you are today and where you want to be is not talent. It is not luck. It is not even hard work alone. It is how you use the time when everyone else is sleeping. Between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., the world is quiet. There are no notifications, no meetings, no distractions. Your willpower is at its strongest. Your mind is at its freshest. This is when you do the work that changes the direction of your life. Successful people understand this. That is why CEOs, athletes, and leaders around the world wake up early. Not because they are superhuman, but because they know that winning the morning means winning the day. So here is your challenge, the same challenge Mr. Chun gave Thomas. Step 1. Tonight, set your alarm for 5 a.m. Not 5:15, not 5:30, exactly 5 a.m. Place your phone across the room so you are forced to stand up to turn it off. Step 2. Decide right now what you will build during your first hour. A skill you need, a business idea, a professional certification. Choose one thing, just one, and commit to it for 90 days without stopping. Step 3. Protect your 9 p.m. bedtime without compromise. You cannot wake up early if you stay up late. Cut the late night television. Stop the endless scrolling. Sleep is not your enemy. Wasted evenings are. I promise you this. If you wake up at 5 a.m. every single day for 90 days and use those 2 hours with genuine purpose, your life will not look the same. Perhaps you will not become a millionaire overnight. Perhaps you will not receive a promotion immediately, but you will become someone different, someone stronger, more disciplined, more focused, more capable. And that person can achieve anything. Thomas had nothing. No university degree, no connections, no savings, just one choice: to wake up early and begin building. You have more than he had. You are watching this right now, which means you have internet access, you have knowledge, and you have opportunity. The only question that remains is this: will you use it? Or will you hit snooze tomorrow morning and wonder 5 years from now why nothing has changed? If you are ready to join the 5 a.m. club, hit the like button right now as your commitment. Then drop a comment below telling me, what will you build in your first hour tomorrow? Let us hold each other accountable. I will be reading every comment. Share this video with someone who says they want to change but never takes action. This might be exactly the push they need. And subscribe to this channel because every week I bring you powerful stories of real transformation and the exact steps behind them. Remember Thomas's words: success is not a destination. It is a daily practice. And that practice begins tomorrow at 5 a.m. Your future self is waiting on the other side of that alarm clock. Do not make them wait another day.